this thing about she mentioned about holding the doors open.
I thought that was
Which
weird.
I did
I thought,
too. I never even thought about that.
Oh
Having
my gosh.
other people holding the doors open. I mean, your partner or other person holding the car door, but waiting for someone to open the door for you in the store gives you feminine energy
I
or
didn't
making
think
you
so. And I thought that was like a usually backwards. I mean, we
I
got to
think
the point where we could open the door for ourselves and be like, at least empowered enough to open our own damn door. And I thought, what the heck is that all about?
I don't know if I can agree with that totally. I mean, do I want to feel I don't need that to
Oh,
feel energized. I feel more
Yeah.
powerful doing it myself. That's where
yeah,
I get the energy from. I
right.
don't feel I think it's mannerly that they do it
Mm,
as an etiquette. I mean, from
right.
when I was how I was raised, that a man opening a door for a woman, but that's how I was raised culturally. So
Mhm.
to me, to see that, I think, oh, that's very etiquette and very mannerly. Do I think that gives me feminine energy and power? Not to me, it didn't. So I kind of like, gave her kind of like, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
just thought it was weird.
Yeah, that micro thing didn't do too much for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as I started listening to that, I'm like, oh, I know a bunch of women who would be pissed hearing
Yeah.
that. And so, to each their own. For
Yeah,
some, it might be helpful. And again, it's like don't conform to what everybody else is doing. What feels comfortable for you. And
yeah,
like my husband would open the door for me all the time. Like, and it never felt like a power move or manipulative or anything like that. He knew I was capable of opening my own door,
Right.
but I thought it was a sweet gesture, and I appreciated it. However, I will tell you a story about my mom. She would refuse to get out of the car unless my dad walked around and opened her door. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is taking
Whoa.
it too far.
Talk about
And
me.
she would just sit there. He had the key out, like no AC. And she's, I'm
Wow.
like, see ya.
on that. He is the nicest person, and he just says, "I'll bring you right up to the door." He doesn't understand though that I like to walk. I keep to reminding him, "Honey, I love to walk and get my steps in and go to the door." And I say, "Thank you so much." You know, and I have to like accept it. And I guess I just accept it as a blessing because it's just so sweet. But I would rather walk,
Hmm.
or walk together,
Yeah.
and
Mhm,
but he gets enjoyment, so I don't want him not to have the enjoyment of doing it for me. So
mhm.
I have to accept it.
Right. I always
Mm.
think it's kind of sweet when somebody does
I
open a
do,
door
but
for
I
you or
like to
something.
walk because I don't get enough,
Right.
before I didn't get enough walking because I worked remote at home.
Mhm,
I didn't go anywhere. So when I get out, I like to walk around, and now I don't walk too much because I'm kind of testing the waters about certain hip things that, in my mind. And so I don't walk too much, but I like to walk some. So, but whatever. So just
mm.
let it
Well, that walking thing, though, are you swaying your hips down?
That's the other thing.
Yeah, sometimes I have to tone it down.
That is the other thing.
Yeah. I
And I
mean,
had to laugh about that. I had to laugh about that, and I'll tell you why, because somewhere I read this book or story or something, and the woman was admonished for swaying her hips like a mare. And I was like, "Really?"
or like a sex symbol
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
that you
It's
could
like
get,
the yeah.
a
Yeah.
big trouble on some societies because
Yeah.
that's explicit.
Mm.
You have to be more, conformed
Yeah,
and
like
not
even
being
how
like
you move
sexy.
your body.
That
Yeah.
walk could be
Yeah.
sexy. Yeah, no, I sway my hips.
Well, okay, so I have a question then. Who is determining what's sexy and what is not allowed?
Yeah. Who determines
Because
that?
you
Yeah.
yourself can feel really empowered, like, posture up, shoulders back,
That's right.
like
Mm.
letting yourself like move and be fluid like that. Belly dancing. I mean,
Yeah, the
Well,
belly
you,
dancing
yeah,
thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like that was like trash, inappropriate for me growing up, and now I'm like, I don't care. Um, but yeah, I feel like so much of the judgment is because somebody got offended because of the thought it brought up in themselves.
it's their problem,
Exactly.
not ours. We're
Right.
enjoying it,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. We're
So that
expressing ourselves,
right.
to our higher power or to our high, whatever, whoever we want to be, or to whatever we're doing. Dancing is a form of worship and praise in some places, you know,
Mm.
some cultures. And, we get a lot of just people are weird, they just, and they put their stigma on others. That's the
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
and then the people that are doing it, they feel guilty. And we
Yeah.
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Well, like,
And
yeah,
then they're
shamed
shamed.
and you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't,
Right, so you
I
shouldn't
don't know.
care about anything.
Right?
It's so, see, and like all of this, it's like
It's hard.
because there's so much judgment, it's so easy to see why women shut down, or
Mm.
they shut down their femininity, they shut down anything that is seen as more of themselves, that's, oh, it's a threat to someone else, or oh, someone else's salvation is on the line because now they have impure thoughts.